In order to solve for x in this case, this is what I'm looking at for now, the left side of the equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get a least common denominator. In order to do that, what I'm going to do is use this denominator and this denominator and multiply them together. So I'm going to use 5x minus 1 multiplied by 3x minus 5. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a negative 4 because that's what's in this fraction right here. Now keep in mind that that fraction stays the same, but you still have the 5x minus 1, that stays the same, but you have a 3x minus 5 that you added there. So you need to add that to the top as well, 3x minus 5, which basically tells me that you haven't changed anything at all. Because if you remember correctly, 3x minus 5 over 3x minus 5 equals 1. So I'm really not doing anything different than what is already there. So this right here is no different from this here because all I did was multiply by 1. So then I'm going to do the same thing to the second fraction. So I'm going to have plus, and then the denominator is going to be the same, 5x minus 1 times 3x minus 5. And I'm going to do the same thing. I had a 1 in the top. So I had a 1 in the top, and I'm going to multiply and compare this. So I had a 3x minus 5. As you can see here, the 3x minus 5 stays the same. So what I need to add to the up top is 5x minus 1. Now that all equals, this is going to stay the same, 6 over 15x squared minus 28x plus 5. Now, I'm going to now multiply those denominators. So I'm going to multiply this denominator, so the 5x minus 1 times the 3x minus 5. So I'm going to use FOIL. So I'm going to multiply the first, which is 5x times 3x. The outer, which is 5x times negative 5. The inner, which is negative 1 times 3x. And the last, which is negative 1 times negative 5. And that gives me 15x squared minus 25x minus 3x plus 5, which is the same as 15x squared minus 28x plus 5. So I'm going to put that now as my denominator up here, which is 15x squared minus 28x plus 5. Now keep in mind that these denominators are not the same, so I'm going to use that for the entire fraction. And then I'm going to distribute this. So I'm going to get negative 12x plus 20 plus 5x, and this is from here, minus 1. And then I'm going to simplify that, and you get on the top here 6 over 15x squared minus 28x plus 5. Now I'm going to erase. So now I'm going to simplify this, and this is negative 7x plus 19 over this whole denominator, 15x squared minus 28x plus 5 equals 6 over 15x squared minus 28x plus 5. Now since the denominators are the same, and you have to keep in mind that the x cannot equal 1 over 5 or 5 over 3, because if it equals that, then these two denominators are 0. So you cannot have that. So you keep that in your mind just in case. But taking into consideration that the denominators are the same, then all you have to do is make sure that this numerator is equal to this numerator. So your equation becomes one very simple equation, and I'm going to do that in blue over here. Negative 7x plus 19 equals 6. So negative 7x equals negative 13, because I'm going to subtract 19 from both sides. And you get that x equals positive 13 over 7. And since 13 over 7 is neither one of these two values that we said we couldn't have, then that's your answer right here. That is the value of x for this equation. And I apologize for all the writing all over the place, but I ran out of space. I hope this helps at least a little bit.